Beloved son, precious daughter, listen now to what I say with all the attention of your heart. Your financial life is going to change, not because I promise you riches to stroke your ego, but because I am the God who transforms realities to fulfill eternal purposes. I'm not talking about a change that merely relieves pressure or covers overdue bills. I'm talking about a shift that starts from within and then manifests outward. A transformation born in the spirit and reflected in the numbers. A restoration that touches the root of your lack to once and for all uproot the curse of poverty, limitation, stagnation, and the shame that made you walk with your head down through lines, deferred payments, and sleepless nights. Today I come with the authority of heaven to declare, I am your provider, not the market, not your boss, not your bank balance. It is my favor that changes your story. It is my hand that opens doors where there were only walls. It is my breath that breaks cycles of endless debt and unfulfilled promises. Where my word is, there is breakthrough. Where my voice is, there is creation. And today I create a new time for you. I saw every tear that fell on overdue bills. I heard every whispered prayer in the dark while your eyes scanned your phone screen trying to figure out how to escape the abyss. I know the crushing feelings you experience when you see others prosper and feel like you were left behind in line. I saw your hands tremble as you handed over a card, hoping there was still balance. I saw the shame in your eyes when you said, I'll pay later, not even knowing if there would be a later. And still you didn't abandon me. Even without understanding, you called me. Even without seeing a way out, you kept saying, Lord, take care of me. That's why I come now with an answer. Because faith that endures in emptiness opens the heavens, and the heavens are open over you. Yes, the heavens are open over your house. The time of closed doors is over. The season of humiliation is ending. I will take what was little and turn it into multiplication, like I did with the widow's oil, with the 5 loaves, with the miraculous catch of fish. I am the same, and I still multiply where there is faith. But before the outward change, I need to work on what's inside, because the prosperity I give begins in the soul. It starts with the healing of fear. It begins with the renewal of the mind. It begins when you stop seeing yourself as someone on the sidelines and start seeing yourself as a child of the King. For gold and silver belong to me, and you are heir to my kingdom. You were not created to live off crumbs, but to walk with honor, wisdom, and purpose. I don't just give resources, I give vision. I don't just send money, I teach how to manage. I don't just free you from debt, I form in you a new character, a new mindset, a new understanding. Because true blessing isn't just receiving. True blessing is knowing what to do when you receive. It's not getting lost in luxury. It's not forgetting me and abundance. It's not replacing the altar with the throne or purpose with comfort. That's why I'm preparing you. I'm shaping you, and that too is provision, because the one who is shaped by me will never be devoured by their own harvest. You say, Lord, give me more, but I say, let me first enter the areas you've hidden. Let me touch the habits that imprison you, the impulses that consume what you haven't even received, the pacts you've made with consumption, appearance, and comparison. While you try to prove your worth to others, I'm trying to show you that your worth is not in what you have, but in who you are to me. And when you understand that, when you truly understand that you are mine, the fear of lack begins to lose its grip. Because even if it's lacking here, it's never lacking from above. Even if the earth denies, heaven sends. Even if the system blocks, I create a new path. I raise someone. I unlock roads. I place opportunities in your path that no one can take away. Because when I decide to bless, no system can stop it. No envy can destroy it. No accusation can invalidate it. And I say this too, enough of just surviving, enough of living on the edge, enough of waking up and falling asleep, counting coins in your head, multiplying what you don't have. Enough of measuring your worth by your bank statement. You are not a number, you are a temple, a place where I dwell, an altar that I built. And where there is altar, there is fire. Where there is fire, there is sacrifice. And where there is sacrifice, there is answer. Just like that day with Elijah, when the heavens opened and fire came down. Today too, fire comes down over your finances. Not to burn you, but to burn away everything that delays you. Every inherited curse, every family yoke, every word of misery spoken against you, every invisible theft, every spirit of waste, of scarcity, of mental confusion that prevents your prosperity. I break it now, I cancel it now, I cleanse your field now so that your seed won't die but will multiply 100-fold. Son, daughter, I'm activating the harvest, not the one that comes by chance, but the one that springs from restored ground. Ground where I am the gardener, where I prepare, fertilize, water and harvest. Because there is fruit you haven't yet seen, but that is already growing. There are doors you can't even imagine that will open. Unexpected connections, ideas that will flash like lightning, favor where there once was rejection. And all of this will come, not just to supply you, but to send you, because I don't give just for you. I give so you can be an answer, a channel, a bridge, a miracle in the lives of others. I give so you'll understand there is more joy in giving than in hoarding. I give so you'll be light in the midst of crisis, balance in the midst of greed, generosity in the midst of selfishness. You will no longer count coins. You will count testimonies. And each testimony will be a seed that plants hope in the hearts of others. Others who, like you, knew soul hunger, thirst for provision, fear of tomorrow. Listen well. You will not fail, not today, not tomorrow, not the next day. Because the one who walks under my care may pass through storms but will not drown, may be tested by fire but will not be consumed, may walk through the valley of shadows but will not be buried by debt or defeat. You will not be put to shame, even if they mock you now, even if they say you're too small, too simple, too slow. I am the God who turns contempt into testimony, mocking laughter into miraculous laughter. Because your story doesn't end at the closed door or the empty account or the looks that underestimate you. Your story ends with honor, with a table prepared, with your head held high, with provision that doesn't come from the earth but from heaven. And not because you earned it with your own strength, but because I promised it, and what I promise I fulfill. Because I am not a man that I should lie, nor a son of man that I should repent. If I spoke it, it's done. If I decreed it, it's sealed. And if I declared that your financial life will change, then get ready, because even what seemed impossible is already being rearranged behind the scenes of the supernatural. What I begin, I finish. I don't leave work unfinished. I don't abandon my children midway. The journey may seem long, but every step is under my control. Every detail is within my plan. And now the time has come for a turnaround, not one brought by luck or coincidence, or because someone decided to help you, but a turnaround born from divine faithfulness, a turnaround from my favor, a turnaround that breaks cycles, cancels spiritual contracts with scarcity, tears down mental strongholds of poverty and discouragement. There will be restoration, not only of money, but of your confidence, your joy, your self-worth, your hope that you can still live better days. Because you were hurt by broken promises, you were wounded by those who swore to help and then let you sink. But I am not like men. I'm faithful, and faithful is my name, so I declare there will be abundance, but a different kind of abundance. A holy abundance, an abundance with purpose. Abundance is not showing off what you have. It is living in a way that shows who you have. It is peace. Peace in knowing nothing will be missing. Peace in paying what's needed without fear. Peace in giving freely. Peace in planning without anxiety. Peace in sleeping without the weight of overdue bills on your shoulders. Peace in living with gratitude. Because abundance isn't just about inflow, it's about confidence. Confidence that I am with you, even when your balance seems low, even when you don't yet see results. Because those who have heavenly abundance carry within them a faith that multiplies even the little. And I will give you that. I will give you wisdom, balance, and joy. Not just in what you possess, but in how you manage it. Because I don't just want to fill your hands, I want to prepare you so you won't lose your heart. And that's why this change will not be temporary. It will be deep, permanent, visible, unmistakable. And when others ask, how did everything change? You will answer without hesitation, it was my God, He took care of everything. Now breathe deep. Breathe like someone leaving behind an old burden, like someone breaking free from invisible prisons, like someone opening their soul to a new time. Breathe with the certainty that your prayer didn't fall into a void, that the early mornings when you cried out in silence, afraid to wake the house, were heard, that every sigh, every tear on the pillow, every thought of giving up was intercepted by my love. Look up, because whoever looks up changes their perspective. What you see as an end, I see as a beginning. What you interpret as a block, I use as redirection. What you call loss, I reveal as pruning. And every pruning bears fruit. Your help doesn't come from the earth, doesn't come from your resume, doesn't come from relatives or connections. Your help comes from heaven. And heaven is answering, heaven is moving, heaven is releasing something new over you. Yes, there will be change. Yes, there will be provision. Yes, there will be honor. Not because you forced it, but because I decided it. Because even before you bent your knees, I was already rising up for you. Before your mind panicked, my spirit was already whispering, wait, I'm coming. And I have come, son, daughter. Your financial life is going to change. Not just in your bank balance, but in your vision, in your heart, in your steps, because I am rewriting your story with ink of victory. I'm erasing shame, I'm annulling spiritual and emotional bankruptcy. I'm breathing life into fields that once seemed barren, and you will see with your own eyes what it is to live a turnaround that comes from me. There will be no more the same desperation, no more the same exhaustion, no more the same paralysis, because where there was lack, there will be abundance. Where there was debt, there will be miracle. Where there were tears of frustration, there will be tears of gratitude. And I close by saying, even if the doors of earth close, the windows of heaven will open. Even if man denies you, I approve. Even if everything seems stuck, I unlock it with a single word, because my favor sustains your days. And if you remain in me, even when the winds blow, you will not be shaken. Your house will be firm. Your mind will be at peace. Your table will be abundant, and your heart will be full of certainty. The God who began the good work was also the one who finished it, with honor. So now, beloved, let me take you by the hand, not rushing, not forcing, but guiding you step by step into the kind of transformation that doesn't just change circumstances, but shifts your entire way of walking through this world. You've asked me to open financial doors, and I am doing more than that. I'm walking you through a process of internal expansion where your capacity to carry blessing increases as your intimacy with me deepens, because what I give will be weighty, and only a grounded heart can hold it without collapsing under pressure. This is why I'm beginning with your perception, how you've seen yourself for years, shaped by limitation, wounded by scarcity, and trained to expect little so you wouldn't be disappointed. That mindset has protected you from pain, yes, but it has also protected you from breakthrough. So I'm now removing the old garments, the internal clothes of survival, the invisible sackcloth of just enough that wrapped itself around your expectations and shrank your vision. You are not a beggar in my kingdom. You are an heir, and I want you to start thinking like one. You've spent years walking cautiously in the area of money, not because you're irresponsible, but because every financial failure from your past became a chain around your next decision. You calculated everything, weighed every risk, triple-checked every step. But what if I'm inviting you into a season where it's not your caution that keeps you safe, but my instruction? I am the God who told a widow to pour her last oil. I am the God who told fishermen to cast their nets again where they caught nothing all night. And I am the same God now whispering to your heart to move again, yes, even when it doesn't make earthly sense. You've held on to stability like a rope tied around your soul. But stability without growth can become a cage. I'm not calling you to reckless choices, I'm calling you to spirit-led movement. There are opportunities waiting on the other side of your obedience, but they won't look like comfort. They will look like challenge. They will look like risk. But hidden in those risks is the exact step needed to unlock what I prepared for you. Let me show you how I operate. I don't always use predictable methods. When I bring provision, it might not come through salary or sale or loan approval. It might come through an idea that seems foolish to others, but carries my fingerprint. It might come through someone you almost dismissed. It might come wrapped in inconvenience or dressed as discomfort. But if your spirit is tuned to me, you'll recognize it, even when it looks nothing like what you imagine. That's why I'm training your discernment, not just your desire. Because desire cries out for help, but discernment recognizes the help I send, even when it arrives in unfamiliar form. You've missed some answers because you were looking for a door and I sent a window. You were waiting for a deposit, and I sent a strategy. You were praying for escape, and I sent endurance to walk through the process that will unlock everything. I'm teaching you not to just chase outcomes, but to walk in authority. Because those who walk in kingdom authority don't panic when the numbers don't align. They don't shrink when the bills outpace the balance. They listen for my voice and make decisions that ripple through generations. I want to make you that kind of person, one whose finances don't just benefit the moment, but build a legacy of obedience and blessing. This is why I'm dealing with fear so intensely, because fear has been sitting in the driver's seat of too many of your decisions. It's dressed itself as logic, disguised itself as wisdom, but at its root, it's fear. Fear that you'll run out, fear that you'll fail again, fear that you'll try and lose what little you have. But I'm not calling you to lead your life from fear. I'm calling you to let faith speak louder even when fear screams in the background. Let's talk about that hidden anxiety, the one that rises when your phone buzzes with a bank alert, the one that makes your chest tighten when someone mentions money. That is not how I created you to live. You weren't designed to walk through life clenched and cautious. I formed you to walk upright, eyes lifted, heart open, knowing that even when the source runs dry, the source never does. That's the difference between those who trust in the system and those who trust in me. I never run out. But here's where it gets real, my child. Provision is often connected to stewardship, and stewardship begins with honesty. Before I release more into your hands, I'm bringing light to your patterns. Let me enter the drawer where unopened bills sit. Let me enter the part of your heart that resents others who have more. Let me deal with the envy, the comparison, the hidden frustration you try to hide behind religious language. I see it all, and I love you still. But I love you too much to let you carry those chains into your next season. This is not punishment, this is preparation. I'm not exposing to shame you, I'm exposing to free you. Because once you see what's been draining your finances, whether it's emotional spending, people-pleasing, or neglecting rest in the name of hustle, you can partner with me in healing it. And that healing is worth more than any deposit in your account. Because money flows through vessels, and if the vessel leaks, the flow will be wasted. Now let's go deeper. There's a spirit I want to break off of you, and it's the spirit of unworthiness. You've said with your lips that you trust me, but in your heart you still believe you don't deserve abundance. Somewhere deep inside you equated struggle with holiness, poverty with purity, and now you resist blessing without even realizing it. But hear me. I never asked you to suffer to prove your love. I asked you to surrender. There's a difference. Surrender leads to peace. Suffering without surrender only leads to bitterness. And you've carried bitterness toward provision because it always seemed to be for someone else. You saw others favored, others advancing, and you wondered if I overlooked you. I didn't. I was building something deeper in you, something that fame, finance, and recognition couldn't give you. Authenticity, gratitude, endurance. And now that the roots are deep, I can bring the rain. But even rain can be rejected by hard soil. So I'm softening your heart again, the part of you that stopped dreaming, the part of you that settled, the part that no longer plans ahead because it's easier not to be disappointed. I'm waking that part back up, not to tease you, but to fulfill what I promised. Your dreams weren't foolish. They were prophetic previews of what I want to do through you.